video, we'll talk more about derivatives. We already know what is derivative in the previous video. Then, if you want to calculate derivative, what should we do? Basically, we should first learn the 22 fundamental rules of calculating derivatives. In AP Calculus exams, it won't show you these formulas, so we need to recite it before we take the exam. Here in this photo is the first 6 formula we'll talk about today. And in this class, I'll tell you how to use each of these formulas and give you some examples. And after the class, I will leave some examples for you to try by yourself. And the answer will be shown in the next video. Number 1 is d dx c equals 0. C in these formulas represent all the constants. This one is really easy to understand. For example, if you want to find the derivative of 5, then the answer will be 0. No matter what the constant is, the answer will always be 0. Number 2, which is the most commonly used one, d dx x to the n equals to n times x to the n minus 1. N in this formula has the same function as c. It also represents a constant. You may think it is really difficult when you see this formula, but let me use an example to show you. For example, you want to calculate the derivative of x squared. So it's d dx x squared. And you can see that in this example, n equals to 2. And so we could use the formula above, and we could have the answer that 2 times x to the 2 minus 1 squared, which is, we could get the answer 2x. And so the derivative of x squared is 2x. When you use this formula for the first time, you must went through this process so that you could get the answer right. But after you use it for several times in equations, you will find it really easy to get the answer. Number 3 is d dx c times u equals to c times the derivative of u. U means an equation, and here in this formula we could have an example like this: d dx 8 times x squared, which is equals to, because here in this equation c equals to 8, and so the answer will be c times the derivative of u, and u equals to x squared, and so the answer will be 8 times the derivative of x squared. And we know that here is the answer of x squared, so the answer will be 8 times 2x. And so the final answer will be 16x. And here's number 4. d dx u plus or minus v equals to the derivative of u plus or minus the derivative of v. U and v are all equations here. And this is the same as the rule of multiplying a number and the sum of another number. For example, a times b plus c. And here we could see a as d dx, b as u, and c as v. And so we all know that a times b plus 3 has the answer that ab plus AB plus AC. And so now here's the same in the use of this equation. this equation has finally got d dx u plus d dx v, and it's the same as AB plus AC. And here comes number 5. d dx u times v equals to the derivative of u times v plus the derivative of v times u. And I think an example will explain this well. d dx x squared times sine x. So because we have not learned sine x here, so I'll tell you the answer first. The derivative of sine x equals to cosine x. And so now we could calculate this, and we know that x squared equals to u and sine x equals to v, and here we got the derivative of u is 2x, here we have already calculated this, and times v, which is sine x, and plus the derivative of v sine x is cosine x, and times u, which is x squared. And so now this is the derivative of x squared times sine x using the equation number 5. And the number 6 one, d dx u divided by v is the derivative of u times v minus the derivative of v times u, and divided by v squared. And an example of this will be d dx sine x divided by x. We already know that sine x, the derivative of sine x is cosine x, so this one is equals to cosine x times x minus the derivative of x using the second equation is 1, and so 1 times sine x, and v squared is x squared. And so now we get the final answer is this. And I think 6 is enough for today, and here are some examples you could try by yourself after this class, and I'll give you the answer in the next video, and see you next time. Bye bye.